Welcome to the How to Get Off the Money roller coaster webinar, the 5 key levers to profit. We are going through these levers to profit tonight because they are the same levers no matter what business you run, and it is super important that you know what they are, because these small tweaks in your business can lead to quite a significant increase in profit. So a 10% change in each of these levers would actually lead to a 60% increase overall in your profit. So it makes a huge difference to know what these are and to continually tweak them.
Yeah, and welcome Debbie. I think she just joined. Hello.
Hi.
This is interactive, so you won't know and hear you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Lana's here too. So we sent out a webinar workbook, which we suggest that you open or have handy, because that's really the crux of. Yeah, that is it. That's really what we're going to go through mostly. We have some slides, but the content really is in the workbook. So let's get started.
Let me see if I can actually move the slides. There we go. So really, we put these webinars together because we want to share this information with people who have a big dream, but definitely want to work smarter. They've got lots of drivers in their life that mean that time is a commodity, and in some ways, when it comes to the numbers side of their business, or they're a little bit head in the sand, or overwhelmed, not as comfortable. So we like to make it as easy as possible to go through all of that. When I bring up the chat, can you see that? Can everyone see that, or can only I see that? I'm not sure.
Up now, I can't see it.
Okay. Debbie's just excusing herself because she doesn't think she's presentable, but you need not worry about those things in this environment, that's for sure.
Totally. At least we can't smell you. That's the beauty of the webinar, right? Online. So don't worry. All good.
One of the other really important reasons as to why we're doing a webinar like this is because we feel really passionate about helping people make a positive impact in the world, and one of the ways that we feel we can do that is around the gender pay gap, and I think they've now forecast that the gender pay gap is going to be there for the next 170 years, and we feel really passionate that if women are empowered to own their numbers, to look at their numbers, often it's talked about in a corporate environment, but it holds across small business as well. It's really important that we're all setting up our businesses to pay us what we deserve, what we're worth, what we would get paid if we were men.
And then some.
So that's another big driver for us as to why we put together these webinars and try and share as much as we can that's stuck in our head, and also give you the opportunity to talk through what's going on for you in your business, questions that you might have. We say it really often, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's just questions that haven't been asked yet. And there's probably 10 other people that are wondering the same thing. So I encourage anyone that's attending, anyone that's watching this later, if you have a question, do shoot it through to us, because that's why we do this. We want to be able to answer those questions and help you move forward for your business profits.
Yes, totally. So just very 1 minute thing about us. We're 2 business consultants. We've worked in consulting for over 15 years. We've worked together on many continents, and we've seen therefore lots of businesses from the inside out, from the outside in. So we call ourselves kind of like mechanics, saying, let's talk about your business from a mechanical perspective. Let's pop the hood and look at what's underneath and how things are coming together. And that's why we're also presenting on this business topic, because really the 5 key levers to profit are really the business mechanics, the business basics for any business. So let's get into the content, because that's really where it all starts having fun.
It is. So we've listed the 5 key drivers here. To start with, think big. So, with any of our clients, we really like to talk about starting with the end in mind. So it doesn't matter how long you take to build your business, but do start with your big vision to start with. It's much easier to start at the end and build towards that than it is to do it the other way around. I like to use the analogy, it's the same as baking a cake. If you put the ingredients of one cake in, put it in the oven, and then clean up all the bowls and then start again, it's a lot harder than if you just double the recipe from the start. So start with thinking big, and then we'll go through each of the other elements as we work through the workbook. And of course, none of this, the main thing is also to take action as well. So go big. Think big, go big is our mission.
Every day, however small, baby steps, totally worth it.
So let's start with being visible or lead generation. So just take a few minutes and just jot down in the notebook, the workbook, what lead generation means to you. What comes up for you there?
This is such a gender-specific one as well. I think this is a major trigger for some people. And I think, Lana, you posted in She Dares this visibility challenge, just starting in January. Another lady.
This one is being done by Michelle Holmes, and she has been doing it for how many years now? And part of the activities that you do is you do a daily video of yourself from a prompt that she gives, just so you can be more comfortable in seeing and hearing yourself in video. But also because of the prompts, you get to work on certain aspects about yourself. So it's a very nice personal and professional development tool.
Cool. We might post a link in the post-webinar email as well. It'll be fun for people to take up that one if it's a major trigger.
And then when it comes to what you're doing for lead generation, just have a look at some of the suggestions that we've put in the workbook there, and just do a check as to what you have put in place for your business. So we've given a few suggestions there for lead generation. Do you have a lead magnet? So is it something that do you have something that attracts people to you? So that means that you're the person that you most work with or most want to work with actually is looking for what you have and can get something upfront value from you. Also can be called an opt-in or a challenge, something that people come to you, get something to get to know you, and you also get to know that they're interested in working with you.
Yep. And really, if you flick to the next slide, Lisa, the trick there is, everyone talks about building your list and about, getting email addresses or connecting with people. It's not just connecting with any person. It's connecting with the people that actually you want to work with. That's the key, right? Because you can have a list of 1,000 people, and if 999 of them are people that are, if you're working with men, then they're kind of disqualified. So your list really is one. Yeah. So the trick really is to figure out who is it I'm talking to, and then what is it that I'm offering them. And what really, really like to see as you're shy, as the diagram on the left side of the slide, you can see we really like to talk about what you love doing, what you're good at doing, because those two things need to be complementary, and then what the lifestyle is that you want. So how you want to actually put your skills, your passions, and your drive together to create that definition of success, your definition of success. And then how do you then translate that to connect with other people all over the world in different forms, different social media, face-to-face, skin-to-skin, like it depends on what your business is, but really think about what is it that you offer, what's unique to you, and then how does that relate to people I want to work with.
And the reason I think that's so important for women in particular, but I think it probably holds for everyone, is that the more you connect with who you are, the easier it is to turn up. So, when Ellie's recently blogged about imposter syndrome. If you're trying to sort of come across one way, the being visible can get quite difficult, because if you're having to do, say, for instance, a makeup shoot and a new outfit every time you Facebook Live, then potentially you're not going to get there that often.
I would never do it. Forget about it.
And you have to check yourself. I mean, I did the same today when I was getting on to talk about this webinar. I thought, oh goodness, I have not got any makeup on. I do not think I have a clean shirt on. And sometimes you just have to trust that people will hear the message and hear the value, and it's more important that they know that you're there than anything else. The two extra points that we've put there as the next ones, a call to action and your Facebook profile connected to your business, are really important if you're marketing over Facebook, particularly the link from your personal profile through to your business. Often people will see something that you've said, they'll think it's interesting, they'll want to kind of stalk you, and they'll go to click through to your business. If they can't get through to your business easily, they'll lose interest, and you may not have them see what it is that you actually have to offer. And that brings us to your call to action. Actually ask people to do something when you engage with them, whether it be, connect with me, schedule a call,
check out my website.
Look at my website. Here's how you can buy from me. Check out my blog. Make sure you ask them, because people love to be asked for a start, and it gives them really clear direction as to what you want them to do. Which, to be fair, we're all sometimes strapped for our thinking space. So when somebody says to us, if you're interested in what I'm saying, here's what you need to do, it gives us a really clear way to do business with them. Yeah.
And this is all based on the premise, and this is, I think, we believe this. We, as humans, we like to contribute and we'd like to help. So if you consider the other person of wanting to help, wanting to connect, then it's easier to actually ask for it as well, right? If you ask for even a comment saying, yes, I've seen this, or yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree, and that's still a call to action. That level of engagement then increases a little bit, rather than just being a consumer, is actively interacting with you, which is really where you want to get to the lead generation.
So now that people know about you, that's the first driver. People have to know that you exist. So it's really, really important that you think of as many ways that you can put yourself out there, so as that people know that what it is that you have to offer. The second one is around conversion. So this is around having them know what you offer and actually convert to be paying customers, paying clients of yours. And this is often the difference between what you think you do and what you will actually be paid to do. So often they're quite different. People, you think you offer a whole list of services, but it's actually what people are looking for is actually a solution to a symptom that they're facing.
Yeah. So it might be a good thing to start writing down what you think it is, or what it means for you, what your solution is. in the workbook. And then we can look at some of the things that we've come across that you can apply in converting people to become your client. Because really, this is based on the cycle that people first need to know, like, and trust you before they purchase, right? It's I'm not sure if you've had this experience yourself, but if you are an Apple phone user, if you have an iPhone, you're much more likely to buy another iPhone or another Apple product because you know how it works, you're comfortable with it, you know its quality, you like the design, all that sort of fun stuff. So that is something that you already know, like, and trust. So if you need to build that relationship through know, like, and trust, we suggest that you do that through adding value. And adding value is in the conversation, meeting the people where they are. So meeting your clients and talking to them, what is keeping them up at night, where they are. So where are they hanging out? So if it is in a cafe for parents, you go to the cafe for parents. You know, you don't try and engage with them on Instagram, for instance. And then the third thing that you can consider is how they make decisions and how they ask for help. So maybe that's a little bit around creating the awareness around the symptoms versus the actual root problem and how you can therefore help. So if you meet them where they are now and talk to them and add value in the conversation with them, they start to know, like, and trust you infinitely more, which then leads them to consider your services because they then can see and self-select to work with you. And that's the beauty. Like, we all have free will. We you know, there's a dime a dozen in terms of all sorts of providers. But why they would work with you is because you've added value. There's a connection and they trust you and they can see the value that you will bring going forward if they become your client. Just a little bit different to thinking, okay, I have a solution and I'm going to present you a solution to a problem. So there's a bit of a shift. Hey, Camille.
Hi. Hey, my sweaty guys.
It's all right. We have another person who's just been to the gym.
Okay,
So,
cool.
you're most welcome to turn off or on your camera. It's a good thing we can't smell you. I said to Debbie as well.
Yeah, you can't smell me. You don't want to smell me.
Oh, good. You just missed a little bit about the lead generation, but we'll catch up. We're at the conversion rate in the workbook, which is page 3. And
just have a look at those checkpoints around where you are in terms of your conversion rate. One of the things that we consistently see, particularly for women, is around positioning themselves as an expert. So we have had quite a few interesting conversations about listing qualifications, listing experience, and I am constantly surprised. Generally, people who I've known for 6 months, a year, 3 years have things that I never knew that they had. Qualifications and experience with different situations, different industries. So yeah, all sorts of things. So it's really important that you take stock of those qualifications, you take stock of your own expertise, and really do some work to build yourself as the expert in what it is you're doing, and position yourself that way.
And it's similar to the conversation that you've probably seen around, you know, when women apply for jobs, they try and make all the criteria and tick all the boxes. Whereas if men apply for a job and they kind of go, yeah, I kind of can do that. I'm not there yet, but I'll just do it anyway. I'll apply anyway. That's really that's the opposite side of the spectrum, I guess. But really, women usually already tick all the boxes as an expert. They just haven't communicated or figured out yet that they do. So it's really about owning your story and owning where you've come from and what you've achieved, because, you know, that's what brought you to here. That's what brought you to now. And it's something you can be proud of because it's all of that, you know, packaged in your unique way, your unique brand that brings that.
Did anyone want to share anything in this space?
I just wrote down in the chat that I really like the tip on making them aware of the symptoms rather than giving them solutions. So this is a good reframing for me, that when I post something, it's to that effect of, to help them be made aware of the symptoms.
Yeah. And it's often interesting because it's often quite different to what you have as a solution. So, for instance, in our business, it might be that we're talking to women who want to work flexibly. And our solution is business coaching and business plans. So, if we had said that, they're not going to see what it is that we have to offer. So it's really interesting. You really need to really get into the detail, I suppose, of what is keeping. We love the 3 a.m. sort of conversation. What's keeping you awake at night, because it's so revealing as to what's going on for somebody.
And it's so much more personal, right? And, in the end, we all work with people. We don't just, provide a product, but it's people work. So you connect with a person, not with a client, someone who's faceless and doesn't have feelings. So really it's around trying to personalize the story that they go through and understand it, really, be extremely curious about what they go through and how they make decisions and where they show up and how they are worried about whatever and what they dream about, because then you can actually translate that to connecting them and adding value in that sense, in terms of, I know what you're going through. I know where you're going, and I can help with these things, not these things, but these things. And so it makes it much easier to find them, to connect with them, and to really have a conversation, so that it's a two-way street.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Oh.
Hi, Carrie.
Visible or not?
You were on the call.
Welcome.
Hi. I love this, because this is exactly where I'm at the moment. I'm trying to tell my story, but the list of solutions, so to speak, is just so long. And
zombies.
Yeah, and the problems that I can solve are so long. So what my intro, so to speak,
silence.
keeps evolving over, it's evolved so many times, just trying to simplify it, so that if you have your elevator pitch.
Yep.
It's so hard for me to say to somebody in 1 minute really what it is I can do. For me anyway, I know that somebody else could probably look at my business and just go, bam, this is it, one sentence. But for me, it's really hard, because I want to focus on the major pain points and then invite people to have a chat with me. And then once they have a chat with me, they're like, oh, okay, oh my God, I can't, totally need you in my life. But trying to figure out the shortest way to get in front of people, for me, is a bit of a struggle at the moment. And I guess it's because that's where my focus is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it's absolutely. And I think sometimes it is a matter of choosing each type of person and each type of 3 a.m. problem that they have. So most people don't have more than one 3 a.m. problem at a time, kind of. Maybe 2 or 3, depending on how many.
Small business owners and solo operators have many 3 a.m. dramas.
But they usually come back to something, something reasonably similar around time, money, or sort of self-worth often. Yeah. So it's really about kind of connecting to those, key things. And I suppose using the same language as what they are. But it is, I think we've got in here for the conversion rate, one of the other really great ways of communicating your expertise and increasing your conversion rate is around frameworks. So infographics, pictures, things that take what you have in your head, take your process, take some of the elements that you use, take what makes your work successful and actually converts it into a visual, so as that people can actually look at that process and say, okay, immediately I can see, you know, where I
Value in that.
the value
And
of
where I am and where I'm going, or what else I didn't consider yet. So it shows that you know more than them on the topic that you want to talk about. It puts a structure and pros and framework in place so that they can follow you, so that they don't get lost, but they actually feel kind of like finding a new home. It's like, and it also makes them feel that they're not alone, because often we forget that other people have the exact same story or a similar story, and you kind of go, oh my God, I wish I'd known that, because I would have talked to you about it. But you just, like, in this bubble, right? You're in the frame, so you can't see the full picture, as you said yourself, because you're working on it. You can't really see the big picture anymore. So it's same for your clients, probably. So the question really is, where do you pick them up? And there might be multiple streams that lead to the same solution for you. The question is, though, where do those problems show up, and where do those clients hang out with those problems? And they might be different. So you can almost have different pathways or different conversations to get to the same solution.
I definitely already have that. There's different aspects to my business which I market in different ways and to get some success from. But if I was to package the whole thing up as one thing and try to tell somebody quickly, then it's easier for me to talk to somebody and find out what their problems are, and then just offer a specific solution than to run through the list of things that I can help with.
Yeah.
That's how I get my business now. I haven't done a lot of marketing because I really don't know how to package it up. I'm just getting the business from talking to people and looking at one problem at a time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't hold you up too much, but that's
all right. And I think essentially that's what we've found really valuable from all of our consulting experiences. That's you know, we've spent years and years packaging up information, and you know, this is one of the things that really helps, is to sort of talk through what those processes are, what success looks like, you know, why things come together for your clients when they work with you, and you put them together and you create sort of, you know, frameworks, information, infographics, and use them in your marketing. And it really, we call it kind of like a coat hanger. It creates a framework that lots of other things can hang off. So sometimes you use it. Sometimes you use it in marketing. Sometimes you don't use it in marketing. Sometimes you just use it for your actual process for a certain type of client. So there's lots of different ways that you can use your framework that's quite flexible. That just gives you that same sort of replicable plus clear value proposition every time you talk to you know, your different clients. And in a lot of the ways, it's really getting your own thoughts and intuition kind of clear, so as that you can say the same thing again and again. We all have that problem. I have that problem as well.
Yeah, I know, and it's hard. It is very hard for me to do that, because, and it doesn't help that I'm really passionate about it too, so I have to stop myself from raving on.
Look, I think always lead with passion.
That one paragraph thing.
You can't go wrong leading with passion, I don't think.
Let's move on to the next one, because it's all a little bit about the journey that's mapped, and then breaking down and what the commonalities are in those journeys, I guess, for you to lead to come to a product funnel, or to come to a framework. And if you want to talk to us offline on it, that'd be great, because we love to do that work as well. It's like the stuff that really gets us excited. We're nerds like that, but you know, it is hard when you're in the frame, but I'm sure that if you speak to the right people, they can help you map it, and then off you go. Yeah. So and
it makes things just so much easier, you know, because you can create something that you're not creating something from scratch every time. You've got a replicable. Essentially, I like to think of my brain as like a bit of a computer processing that just takes less energy, which can be really good if you've got lots of other things going on as well.
Yeah. So let's look at the third driver of profit, which is the number of transactions per customer. And really what this is about is, as I said previously, I gave the example of having an iPhone or having a Samsung phone. It's like you're more likely to buy the same product or the same brand because you know, like, and trust the brand. But once your client is in the door, how do you then keep adding value in the relationship? How do you retain that client, basically? Or how do you make sure that the journey that they're on, you understand well and you can add value to as they continue? So we work with the product funnel concept and the pricing concept. So in front of you on the slide, you see our product funnel currently for one of our programs. And what it really talks about is what channels you use for marketing, then what freebies you have. So that's your opt-in to create the reach, to build your list, and to get the right people to talk to. Because, if you're marketing to women, it's not really handy to have a man on your list. That sort of fun stuff. So really finding the right customers or finding the right prospects who then could potentially become customers if they see the need to. Then you have the prospect product. So there's low-priced products that people could opt into that actually have a low barrier of entry. So the easier you can make it for your clients to convert, so the easier you can make it to pay, the easier you can make it to sign up, the easier you can make it to work with you, lower the barrier, the higher your conversion rate. And the trick then is to look at, okay, where they are now, where they are going to be after your first service, and what else they could need going forward on their journey. And then the question you'd ask yourself is, okay, this is where they're going. How am I placed to add value at what point in that journey? Because if you can look forward for them, because you likely already have worked with people further ahead or you've done it yourself, you can kind of use that crystal ball to help them position themselves ahead of the curve, basically, or get fast forward on that experience curve through that information and through working with you. So knowing your client's journey helps you figure out where they're going and how you can best add value to that. And again, it's thinking about your work from the client's perspective first, and then stepping back and saying, okay, where's my passion? Where's my shine? What's the best way I can add value to this journey? So the client continues to receive value, and there's a mutual exchange, there's an interaction that's worthwhile.
And it's really useful to do this per market or per type of client. So I know, Kerry, you were just talking about the idea that, there's lots of different things that you can do. It can work really well to map, each of these out for the different types of people that you work with or for the different types of services that you offer, because you can get a lot of clarity then around when you go to promote them, who are you targeting in a certain time frame. So it can make you a lot more sort of focused as to what outcome you're trying to get to, with what sort of people, with what sort of client, and on what sort of journey are they going through to that, your offering makes the most sense to them for where they are now. So I suppose it just helps streamline your thinking into sort of swim channels, really, that mean that you're more likely to focus and get results in one swim channel as opposed to sort of swapping between different swim channels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, it helps to break up the packaging as well of your services. As you say, it's hard to make one big bundle, or maybe you don't have to, or maybe you just tell the story of which you see your clients go through, as you do already. The one thing that we do like to give as advice is to treat your time as the premium. So if you do one-on-one work, make that the premium product. because you can only, we are all time poor nowadays. I think someone posted recently, the Futurist posted recently, that we have 3 categories of speed. It used to be 2. I think one was space, and then it was time. Now, space became kind of irrelevant. Time still is an issue, but now the 3rd thing that we're poor on is attention. So we're time poor and we're attention poor. So you need to meet people where you get their attention, which is hard enough in a crowded space, and then willing to actually give their time to you. So those are 2 things that you need to actually ask them to do to work with you. Same goes for you. You have limited bandwidth and you have limited time. So your custom coaching, for instance, would need to be a premium product to make sure you get the most value to your client, but also the most value to you. And this is where we come back to a bit of a bugbear or a little thing that we're quite passionate about, that Camille knows all about. This is profit first, making sure that you pay yourself to build a sustainable business. Because we see a lot of women that financially would not have a viable business, which breaks our heart because there's so much worth it, and it's not sustainable in the end. So how do you make it so that you make your products and services, your product funnel, in a way that delivers both value to your clients but also to you? So how do you achieve your definition of success through working smarter?
And one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually look at what your existing customers, where they are when they come to you, and where they're going after they've spent time with you. So what else can you offer? How can you help people on that next step of their journey, whether it be directly with you, so in a product or a service that you offer, whether it be working and collaborating with somebody else that is has somebody that is the same sort of client as you. So I suppose it's really looking at what is going to add the most value to the people you work with over the long term, which is, doing them a lot of favors as well as helping you create a more profitable and sustainable business.
Yeah. Which comes to the 4th, lever of to profit is mastering your money. So how do you add to that average dollar per transaction? So how do you get people to pay more for what you offer? And this is around adding value, so cross-selling, as you saw. So, if you have a cow, they need hay, add the hay for $5. I think, Camille, we talked about this with your service as well, where Camille does these awesome food tours in Amsterdam, which, Lana, you should definitely recommend as well, because they're yummy and fun and educational. And she's telling us, well, what else can I do? I said, well, she said, why don't I offer umbrellas? Because it's Amsterdam, it rains. Perfect, for a little bit more, you get a little bit of profit extra. But that upselling or cross-selling actually works because your customers are happy and you get a little bit out of it. You do put a bit of effort in, but your customers are happier for it. So that way you get your total dollars per transaction higher, but you also add the value there. So the trick is, okay, what else do you see that your customers might need that you could offer, or that you could collaborate with someone else to offer, or a little product, or a little thank you, or a little wow that will make them go, this is amazing, I want that too.
So let's talk about your profit margin. I think profit margin is definitely one of those things that potentially by the time we get to this point, people are like, what are we doing on this call? So really, as Ellie said, the most important thing is that we want you to focus on building a sustainable business so that you can keep doing what you love for a long time, but also one that pays you what it is that you want to be paid. So to have that pay come through, you really need to know what it is that your expenses are, when they will be coming, and have your systems in place so that you really know what's happening with your money. We talk about looking at that as a year-long picture, because sometimes you'll have some expenses that are a bit lumpy. They come, once a quarter or once every 6 months. So it's really worth looking at that expense picture for a full year, and starting to do some allocations as you go through for the year. Again, using the profit first type method. So yeah, make that really just again, use the workbook. We use the workbook because every time you write something down, it connects better with your brain and your memory, and you'll take something different out of it. So just take a few minutes and write some notes around what it means, what it's going to mean to you, what it means to you to be paid from your business, what sort of systems you have already, what sort of systems might be missing.
Yeah. And the last point is kind of the interesting one, because if you can look ahead and think big and see what you might need in the future, you can reverse engineer your way to what you need now and make sure that the optionality to grow is in that system or is in that tool without paying for it now. That's the trick. To keep your costs down, but your optionality high. You might hear interesting noises in the background here. That's my daughter.
If you hear interesting noises here, it'll probably be my husband eating dinner, which is probably not quite so cute.
My boys are about to have a fight in a minute. They've been quiet for far too long.
Well, your house is probably going to be destroyed by the time you get off the call.
Yep, there's been no screaming for 30 minutes, so it's about to start.
So on the eye of the storm.
On that note, the last thing really that we want to cover is your promotion plan. So your promotion plan is about breaking down your goals into smaller chunks, and creating something that you're more focused on. So one of the toughest things I think in business sometimes is when you have so much to offer and so much going on and so many things that you want to do, that your focus becomes so split that you don't necessarily do any of them to a full cycle. So by having a promotion plan in place, you're actually helping yourself stay focused on what outcomes you want to get in a 90-day period. So what things are you actually going to focus on in terms of your sales? How are you going to go about promoting those in that period of time? Does that work in with the time that you have available? So it's both a focusing tool, the promotion plan, and it's also a bit of a sanity check as to, can I get across what I'm saying I'm going to get across in the next 90 days, which is, I know for us, is very helpful because sometimes we can be overly ambitious. For those of you that don't know, Ellie and I have both had babies this year. Her son is 3 months younger than my son, so we often sort of get quite ambitious.
And then we get distracted by, work, baby time, feeding, fitness, all that fun stuff.
But the promotion plan really helps you stay focused around, okay, what are we actually going to commit to in terms of promoting and getting sales in which areas, and you can then hang off a lot of the other stuff. What are my marketing plans for that? What does my content look like? Who will I be approaching? What will I be talking about when I'm in Facebook groups? It just turns your focus really in the right direction, makes you a bit more laser-like.
Yeah, it's easier to keep going, to not lose sight and not lose track, and go down the Facebook rabbit hole where like say, oh, that's fun, oh, that's fun, oh, that's fun, and all of a sudden an hour is gone, and you kind of go, what happened? And your baby wakes up, and you kind of go, oh my god.
So just to reiterate, for each of those key drivers, and maybe I need to go back to the main thing that we have. Do I have that? No. This one. So we want you to start from the end in mind. Do think big with your business. Start with something. Start with a big, hairy goal. Start with where you're going to be. You can take time getting there, but start bigger and work your way backwards.
Yeah.
Do spend some time with the workbook and have a look at these 5 key drivers. Again, if you make a 10% increase in each of these drivers, you actually increase your bottom line by 60%. So it's really useful to revisit these drivers and say, okay, what am I going to do this quarter? What am I going to do in the next 90 days that will help me, get an advantage in each of these areas? And then the last one is about going big. So at the end of the day, knowledge is only powerful if you take action. So, take a few minutes now and just have, from the reflections that you've had from this webinar, just write down what actions you're going to talk about. And the best way to power up those actions is to talk about how you're going to feel when they're completed. So just take a little bit of time to pop something down. Again, writing it down connects it to the brain. Anything that you put down as a written goal is always more powerful than just thinking it.
And no more than 5. No more than 5. Let's not get lost.
And then we'll be really happy to take questions then.
Yeah, I'm about to go, but then I just want to say thank you for holding this webinar. And I'm a new coach too. And like what Carrie was sharing, I resonate so much because I have a hard time to introduce myself in a very easy way, like the elevator pitch. And also because I'm located in Taipei, in Taiwan. So in general, the culture here, people, they don't know what exactly coaching is. So I'm like struggling kind of, but I guess this is a process I just have to go through.
Yeah.
And like you were just sharing about the system. I think it's a very important thing I need to start really get into and develop it. So I'm able to share it in a easier way.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it just so much easier for you to identify when people are coming to you, where they fit in your process. It gives you something that means that when you talk to them, you can show them in advance what it's going to look like with working with you. You can use it for marketing. There's lots of different ways that you can, create this coat hanger of what you do. So as that when you have that there, it just makes it easier for you, makes it easier for your clients, and makes it replicable and less time consuming as well.
Yeah. What I think, what I love the most about it is that if it's a journey before and after story, it gives people hope. It gets people excited. It gets people, it gives relief. It's like, oh, there is a solution. I'm not alone. And that alone, I think, would be worth doing it for me personally.
Yeah, like if I'm in a session, like a random session, that I'm able to actually communicate with the person in front of me, like in a really deep level. But when it comes to like, nobody really know who you are, and then you just show up, and all of a sudden I don't know how to present myself anymore. So It's important to really get into like a session in order for them to experience what I can offer.
It might be worthwhile both for Carrie and Jan.
With you on that. I hear everything you're saying. I just want to say that because I'm the same. And even I have another business as well, and it's the same in that business. So I think it's something that I need to look at in myself, because if somebody, for instance, if somebody emails into my business an inquiry through my website and I respond answering their questions, I never get the business. But if they call, I always get the booking. I always get the job. So I'm not able to communicate in my words the same way I am in my speech with somebody, or I find I'm the same thing. If I'm at a networking meeting and I talk to somebody face to face, they become a client. But if I'm just flashing myself around the place, it takes so much more, and I don't feel like it is really that succinct.
Oh my God, thank you for letting me know I'm not alone.
But Jen, I hear you so much. It's really hard because, so it's
ask your clients how to describe you, what they got out of the service, or how they would describe your services, because they have gone through it.
Because here's another point. It's very it's funny. I just try not to overly analyze it, because my original attempt is to serve women, but my first 2 clients are men, right? So I was like, okay, great. Then I mean, all the stuff that I put on my website are, for women. It's women oriented. And then now what I do. So it's like I'm also kind of like driving a car at the same time, figure things out. Like
And it's funny how you have it's what you think you do, and then what really people really appreciate and want to pay for, right? And it is about finding that beautiful match where you find clients like Carrie does and yourself do, and you offer the value and you get that connection, and potentially choosing the right clients.
Come from different places too. So just, I don't know if we're allowed to say what we do here, but
of course.
So one of the aspects of my business is doing photography for businesses.
Awesome.
So I did Google ads, and the return on investment for that is huge. And then I did the same for the graphic design part of my business. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It was a complete waste of money. But yet when I talk to people in groups and help them, that I ask a question about, what do you think about this logo or whatever? And then I just say, well, I would do this, or maybe just fix the font or something like that. And then next minute I'm having a conversation in personal messages, and it leads to them saying, thank you so much for your help. I'm just so happy. And then a couple of weeks later, they might email me and say, well, now I'm ready to do my website. Can you do that? So it's, I do know where my clients are coming from, but I just need to get those really clear stories in those different areas about, and bringing them in, and then having a landing page for each one of those things. Because when I try to put it all on my homepage, for instance, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's almost like I've had to break my business down into different offices, so to speak. Right. And have people coming into those different offices and then coming into the big pool, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a great way, and it is actually a great way to do it. And I think it's then just connecting, instead of potentially I do graphic design work, it may be that, I do logo review. You pick the point where people are coming to you most, and you create something that draws them in from that point. So, does your logo, you pick the point that you've had somebody resonate with before, because it's in their language and it's in what they're looking for, and you sort of generally create something that's an entry point from that point.
Yeah. I'm working on something at the moment that nobody's doing. When you see in your news feed, there's all these sponsored posts. Everyone's doing some kind of coaching.
Yeah.
So because I've tried to break everything down and try and find a niche that no one's really cornered at the moment and that I haven't seen yet. So I've come up with that concept, and I'm really, really excited to try and put that into place next year. And I'm going to use that as a big draw in and try and build an email list through that. So that's my big focus at the moment. But still, at that point, when I market that thing, how do I introduce myself? Because that's such a specific thing that I'll be marketing.
Well, it's less about you and more about them. I guess it's talking to them in a way that they identify themselves with the content you offer, and it's contributing to the conversation rather than trying to sell, right? It's about having a conversation. It's about adding value, like you do in the Facebook groups.
Yeah, no. I'm going to start a revolution.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Go for it. Very much big, going big.
That's my thing. It's called the revolution. So
That's cool. So when we're talking about transformation, this is something that I really want to bring to people. Like, they're able to see the change. So I was actually struggling about what kind of program I should provide. Should I do like a 3-month, or should I do like a 6-month? Should I do the year long, or whatever? And then, for example, the current program that I have is for a 6-month program. So in order for me to, deepen the work, so I'm able to let them see the difference. But at the same time now, I know the funneling strategy that we're talking about, it's like, yeah, we should also consider about the entry. So, lower the barrier so people are able to just, get to know you more and to experience me. But at the same time, if it's less than, say, 6 months, I'm not going to be able to guarantee like, well, there's going to be massive, transformation or change.
Yeah.
How do I look at this in a different way?
I can give you an example of my business coach and how she lured me in, or how I self-selected working with her. I saw some of her posts on Facebook. I then joined her Facebook group, and I was like, this is cool conversation. And then she offered a 15-minute catch-up, just a freebie discovery call.
Right.
Book that because I had a specific issue. It was that time it was around visibility and really, stepping into your power and showing the world and being open to criticism and all that sort of fun stuff, right? That was my pain point.
Oh, I've just broken through that barrier, and it is a hard one to get through. I think it's something that I didn't even know I was struggling with for years and years. And once I recognized it, I just went, that's the key. It's the key. Just letting myself be authentic and saying, well, who cares what anyone's going to say?
Yeah.
And if they criticize me, so what?
That is so the key.
Yeah. So in that 15 minutes, the call turned into 45 minutes, and I was blown away by the value in the conversation we had. And she went to a level of connection that was really deep. So I was like, yes, I'm going to sign on with you because I know you can deliver what I need.
Yeah, because you want more.
So she over-delivered in a free thing that was small, but she over-delivered both in terms of, amount as well as value, which then made me realize that she knows her stuff. She established her authority. She had her brand already, because I knew her already from different ways. It was a congruent brand, so it was consistent across different platforms. And through that over-delivering, when she then asked, because you do need to ask people to work with you, they don't actually figure that out themselves necessarily, so that they can actually say yes. When she asked, I was like, yes, I will consider it. And then even the pricing didn't really matter that much because I knew that was what I needed. Yes. And it was the right level of discussion, and she had already delivered a bit of it. See? And then the offer after that, so the actual offer came through an email. She talked to it as well in the final wrap-up of the call, which was like, did you add value? Yes. Did you have insights? Yes. That sort of stuff. She then asked, are you open to working with me? I said, yes. And she talked about her program, which was the framework and all the steps that she takes her clients through. So that's the framework we spoke about earlier, right? What's the infographic? What's the before and after story? And then she told me how that would then work and how that would help me get to where I want to be. And that was that. Signed up the day after.
How long is the program for?
It was a 3-month program with weekly calls. Yes. But again, this is this for me, it would be something that you need to consider for yourself. How many clients do you want per year? What pricing do you want to charge based on what your income goal or your definition of success? Like, what's your lifestyle choices? How much time do you have? All those things would need to factor in, as well as how do you deliver value to your client and what's the minimum, what's the maximum. Regardless of the time, though, the steps would be the same. So if you can map that, I think that you're onto a winner.
Yeah, I'm at such a pivotal point in my business right now. I've been searching for a coach for about 2 months, carrying around a bag of money. Just
there's lots of them.
No, there is lots of them.
Well, actually, I've only just been recently introduced to Smart Chick, so I've been very isolated in Adelaide. I'm not from here. I've been here for a short time. I live in the hills. I work from home.
Yeah.
So, you know, my outing every day is dropping the kids off at school and going to do the groceries. And then I sit in the office all the time. And all of my clients are everywhere in Australia except for Adelaide. It's so, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
Chicks
so
help you
bizarre.
with that for sure.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. But it still took off. So I'm thinking, well, it's validated and I'm doing a good job, but now I've got so much work and, well, some people have said to me that I'm too cheap. So I need to work out how much I should be charging, what is my time worth, and how much value can I produce in that time, and setting up that framework exactly as, there goes the fighting.
Yeah. They were doing really well.
Yeah.
And they're probably fighting over a piece of Lego or something. So setting up that framework so I have very, very clear goals and then break it down into chunks. So I know, okay, this week my ultimate goal is this, this, and this, and it can be in the whiteboard in front of me, and that's what I'm focused on all week. And it might be, okay, well, I'm doing heaps of this type of work at the moment, but I need to get some more of this bread and butter stuff in. So I need to go and chase some more of those clients. And I know where to find them. I just need to spend more time in that area. And then the next step for me is not doing all of that work and having people come in and help me with managing that workload and being able to do more of working on the business and getting clients in. But yeah, the framework thing I don't have. And that's what I need now, because I've stretched my limit of business sense, I guess. You know what I mean? I need help to scale. I need to go to the level. I need to become a leader rather than a solo operator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to lead my clients. I want to lead my colleagues and staff and people that I work with, and really lead people through to this massive transformation in their business.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's probably a good idea, Kerry, is for us to connect offline around our transition program. So our transition to expert program. So we have a program that takes you through all of the steps around both growing your expertise, but at the same time growing it in a sustainable way. So how you can combine things like outsourcing and all sorts of stuff, so as that your business actually can grow to this, to the big levels, but in a way that means that you're not doing everything, and you can actually, still have a life.
Yeah, but what I'm doing now is not sustainable, and the work keeps coming, and the inquiries keep coming, and the connections keep coming rapidly. So I know I'm on the right track. It's all happening very, very quickly, and I need the skills to be able to manage this and take it to the next level, because the dream is like really, really big.
Yep.
It's huge. So I mean, yeah, it is very exciting, but I'm also very tired as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't keep working 12 hours a day. Like literally, I'm supposed to only be working 15 hours a week, but I'm working 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies,
Lisa, you want to go to the next slide?
Yeah. So
Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, that's all right.
I think it's time.
I enjoy the talk a lot. I just
No,
have
that's
to.
all right. I'm starving for conversations like this. So
You're in the right place.
I'm in the right place. I just want to talk. It's just
Sorry, Elian or Lisa, am I able to just connect with you guys like offline sometime too?
Absolutely. We'd love to connect with you.
I know I have so much things to do, but just like scatter.
Yeah.
Feel like,
Yeah, we know that feeling. Yeah, we totally know that feeling.
yeah. So I'm going to mute myself. I've got to do with this.
Great, thank you, ladies. We've got a number of options to work with us going forward. I think you've got a sense from this around connecting with us. We'll send out a link so as that we can connect, in person as well. We do a number of things that I think address what we've been talking about. The business sniff test is when you've got that big goal. but you just want a bit of clarity on your numbers and what to want to do next. Our Money Confidence course is a self-paced course that takes you through everything you need to know around setting your goal, how to break it down, how to put it into a product funnel. And Wealth Dynamics test is really, really useful for building your team, starting to see what you're good at, what you might need to outsource. So we offer all of these things. I think in terms of putting together a framework or your method, let's connect on that and see what it is that you want to use it for, and make sure we put something together for you that really addresses exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Really.
So Ari wants to say hello.
Hi.
Hello. Does anyone have any questions still?
I have lots and lots and lots of questions. A million and 1,000 questions. My mind races 100 miles an hour. I need help. So yeah, would love to chat further. I've been told by many people you guys are the bomb. So
Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
I had a consulting session with Kirsty today, and she put me onto this webinar, and she said these guys are just amazing. You have to go to this webinar.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, we look forward. We'll line something up with you, Kerry, and thank you so much for jumping in and joining. It's so nice when people come and talk, and it's awesome.
Interact, you know? Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be meeting all of these people at this time in my life. It's just really, really exciting.
It's definitely an enjoyable journey.
Yeah. You know, we can't do it all on our own. That's the thing. We need, we're mums. We're wives, everything. And I don't actually have anyone in my close circle of friends that has the same view on life and work and stuff. So it's not a conversation I get to have very often. So often Googling with my teacher and YouTube and stuff like that, and to be able to connect with real people that can actually help you along your journey, that understand what you're going through, is just so amazing. It's to me, I'm just like, oh my God, it's just feels so amazing. So
it's like, you're not insane.
I know.
You're not alone.
It's so sloppy, but I'm that sort of person. I'm beautiful. I do everything with my heart. So
yay. Good on
Ladies,
you.
I have a question, because I tend to get overwhelmed sometimes just by the sheer enormity of the things that needs to be done. And would you say that, you know, your framework is a linear framework? It's these are steps that you need to work through in a linear manner, or is it, you know, can you kind of pick bits depending on where you're at and what your goal is for that particular period of your business?
Ooh, good question.
I'd say it depends on what your end goals are. So if you look at your year, then you work backwards. Okay, what are the absolute must-haves in terms of what you're trying to achieve? You base your activities on that, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, and this is also in our opt-in, I think, the number one priority would be to serve clients.
Yeah.
The second priority is to then get new clients. And the third priority is the rest.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you can keep your lights on and you can keep serving and you can build that funnel of advocates who've worked with you, who want to share your story, the easier it becomes to market, the easier it becomes to then get help for all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But and I think my biggest lesson for last year, because we've only been in business for a year, Lisa. We've launched in December last year, so there you go. Thanks, Jen. Bye. Is to keep tweaking and refining. So even though you might do something and you finish it then and there, it really never is finished. Like our branding is still, you know, we are moving towards the next phase of branding because you grow and you evolve and your services evolve. That then has to come back into, okay, what clients do you serve? How did that show up? And you know, how you market them. So it's, you know, sharing yourself and your journey is as much part of the marketing. So it's that tweak, refine, like plan, do, check, act cycle for everything in your business, which really doesn't help with your overwhelm. I'm sorry.
So I think probably, to be fair, it's probably a bit like a mountain. So, you could go straight up, you could go around. Is it linear, or is it, it does depend. Ellie always is reminding me that we can have margaritas, on the journey rather than at the top of the mountain. Because I'm somebody that keeps seeking an end point rather than remembering about the journey.
I like to celebrate with chocolate.
You're right. That's a really good point. I think, Ellie, you did say, I think you told me that I need to celebrate the milestones. It's true. And I keep that in the forefront of my mind, that I need to celebrate every single milestone.
Yeah. So call me when you want to get drunk.
Yeah.
I just celebrate every single conversation I have with someone. I'm just like, wow, that was awesome. Or, that person, I just learned something. Woo! Or, I just bought a new lipstick. Woo!
And sometimes the thing is, sometimes things turn up differently than what the how turns up differently. So, we talked about, growing our list, for instance, Ellie and I this year, growing the number of women that we can reach. About 2 weeks ago, somebody contacted me that has a group of 800 women that no longer wants to organise it. And they said, do you want to take it over? So, we could not actually have planned that. Well, maybe we could have, but we didn't.
We're not that manipulative, are we?
So, sometimes things, you set an intention. We said, we did set an intention that we wanted to reach more women, but sometimes it shows up in ways that you
can't imagine.
Think about. Yeah.
It's true. It's so true. And if you're giving value in some other area of your life, then the value comes back to you, maybe seemingly in a random way, but it's because you deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. But if you're telling the universe what you want, often you get that thing back from somewhere else or something similar.
Yeah. Or something better.
Also, I have to be very conscious of what you're asking for.
And sometimes you don't realise the work that you've done and how it translates. So Ellie and I did a whole heap of videos on our Facebook page. We asked for a collaboration with the professional mums. When we had that first meeting, they had actually watched all of our videos. So they were asking us all these questions, and then, it was a done deal basically before we got on the phone. So sometimes the work that you put in up front, really does sort of convert in different ways than what you had initially thought it would.
Yeah, trust the ripple effect.
Yeah.
So I think we should probably leave it there. But thank you so much, ladies, for joining today. And we will connect again offline. We'll send the recording out. We'll send some links out, some extra information. It sounds like, the barbecue test might be a good thing that we can share, Ellie, in the next few weeks as well, around how do you concisely talk about what you do. So that people know that. So, thank you very much for joining us live. And
we forgot about the prize.
Oh, the prize.
Sorry. We're very good at forgetting small things because we're enjoying the conversation so much. But we have a prize. A prize to win for a random person on this call.
How many people were on the call, Ellie?
Lana, Jen, Carrie, Camille, Debbie. Who else do we have? Was that it? I think we forgot someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5? Potentially. Let's stick with 5.
Okay.
Well, that's a good chance, ladies. 20% chance that you're going to win.
Number 3. Who did you list number 3?
No. What did you say?
Carrie.
What?
It's a prize, Carrie.
I had a screaming child. I had to go and get boogies out of his eyes. So what did I miss?
So you've won the prize for attending the webinar tonight, which is a copy of the Profit First book.
Me?
Yes, unless you've already got it, and then we can choose a different book. But if you haven't got that book, it's an excellent read for small business. And that would be, thank you for attending in person, and you're the winner.
Oh, congratulations, Kerry.
Wow, that's awesome. See?
Bring kids, good for something.
No, life has been very good to me lately. I'm thanks. I've never actually won anything, so that's pretty cool.
This is a first. First of many.
First of many, yeah. Thank you again, ladies, for joining
so
tonight.
much.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.